Hey everyone, let me just adjust the sound. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay and hear the music. Cool. So, thanks for the patience. I was making a tea and yeah, took longer than I expected. So for those who are just dialing in for the first time, what is this? This is sort of a Supabase build in public, and it's where we basically, build some Supabase features in public, or do some sort of open source stuff in public. And the kind of meta goal is that you can see how to do some open source stuff yourself if you're thinking about getting into it, or if you're thinking about, building your own repository or making something open source yourself. Then you can see that it's not too daunting and it's just some basic stuff. Now, hopefully, I believe this is just going to be a bit patchy. So it looks like Alan Barad is on the call. Is my video super patchy, or is it working okay? If you can let me know in the comments, then it seems like it's stuttering again. Okay, let me see what I can do. I don't know if I can do much, unfortunately, this time. But I think it's to do with my... well, it's definitely to do with my laptop not being powerful enough. Last time I had too many things running. So, let me try quit. Audio is fine and the video is a bit laggy. Yeah, okay. So, lesson learned, I need to upgrade my laptop, it seems, before I do too many more of these. Just gonna try a few things, and I'll cut this out when we have the replay. Go to that one. Okay, I can't really cut anything too much else. Maybe I'll cut the music. Then I don't really have too much else running. CPU. Well, I think it could be to do with the video. So what we'll do is we'll just drop into my desktop view, and hopefully, because it's less frames, then it doesn't matter so much that it's laggy. So yeah, thanks for the patience. Hopefully it seems a bit smoother now, in which case maybe I can pull the music back in. We'll see. Cool. Okay. It's smaller, better when it's smaller view. Okay, cool. And hopefully the audio's good now, so just let me know if it goes choppy again, and we'll see what else we can do to fix it. And then I'll try see if by next week I can get a new laptop. So, okay, what are we going to do this week? Actually, so what I usually do, if you go to our website, usually I'm working on Supabase Studios in these ones, which is going to be our open source dashboard. But this time round, if you go to our blog, supabase.io blog, this is just open source, it's a Next.js site, but you'll see actually every single month I do these beta, like release posts. Well, we've done a few posts, but here's one for June, for example. And you can see I quickly, jot down anything which is new. We released, obviously, Postgres full text search and Discord logins in June. Then usually I record a video, so this is going to be a bit meta, because the video I'm going to put into the blog post is literally going to be this live stream. And I haven't actually done the blog post yet. I prepared it all, actually from the email, and prepared it all. And now what I'm going to do is kind of release it out into the public and blast it out, and you can see how that's done. And if you see any spelling mistakes, you can come in, you can hopefully fix any errors that I make and check it out. So what have I done? I've come into our main repository. And by the way, if you're here and you want to just ask about anything at all Supabase related, feel free. This one's going to be a super chill session. I don't really have to think too much, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have, especially if you're new to the community. Then just feel free to fire away any questions about our open source stack or Supabase in general. Okay, so if I open this up, npm, I'll come into the correct folder, which is cd web npm run dev, I believe. And in fact, that's the wrong folder. I'll make this a little bit larger for you guys so you can see what is going on. Yep. And then I am going to go to cd npm run dev. And what this is I'm on a branch called blog July, where I've prepared the blog post. And if I close this one up, this one will open up localhost 3000. In fact, I'm going to click that now, come in, and then I'm going to go to / I think actually it's new /blog in this one, because we're a mono repo, so we've got to put /new in front of everything. Then as soon as this prepares, I'll also open up GitHub so you can see where this is actually going. So inside the Supabase repo, then I already have the pull request prepared, which is here. And you can see actually there's some dependencies, but here it is, blog release post July. I've got everything prepared, ready to go. I just need to skim through it, and then what I'm going to do is show you each one of the features that we have prepared. So if I open up this in a new tab, it's already deployed out on Vercel, so we can see what it looks like. Okay, so let's jump into it. We've got July 2021. First thing was, in case you already missed it, we did a launch week. And what is a launch week? This is something that we've actually done twice now. We did it in March, the last week of March, and the idea is that we ship one thing every day for when are you merging that branch into main, is what one of the commenters, Rugved Depare. We are going to merge it live, so you have come in at the right time, because basically within probably 20 or 30 minutes that will be merged in, and that blog post will go live, so you can watch it here. I'll just jump through everything first, and then I'll push it, and feel free to read it yourself. So I'll probably also do a tweet thread maybe as well here live. Probably would make sense. Okay, so launch week is something where we launched one thing every day for a week. We've done it twice now, and that's why we said this one was launch week 2, the sequel, obviously a pun on Postgres being our core offering. So the sequel, and we had these memes, lots of memes inside this, basically were sequel memes focused on sequels being better. Okay, so the big one is Auth, phone auth, and this is, actually becomes super simple. We have this SMS guide, which is SMS OTP with a one-time password with Twilio. It steps you through exactly how to use it. And in fact, and my co-founder has already recorded this really awesome video showing you even the steps to go into Twilio to get it set up. So all I'll do is show you maybe inside one of the projects that I have already where you can find it. I've been playing with CRDTs, so here's a pretty empty repo. If you come into your project here, any one of your projects, you'll see inside the settings is, well, it's a little bit different from what it was previously, but it's also got this one phone auth. And if you enable this, it allows you to add in your Twilio. And we only have Twilio right now, but if you add in your Twilio credentials, then you can use this new feature called, well, phone sign up, which is pretty obvious how it's going to work. You just need to come down, well, here, if I zoom in a bit, instead of logging people in with an email, usually this one would be email, then you only need to put in their phone number. So you can accept phone numbers on your website, and that's actually the we don't even need this one. With password-based logins, maybe I've got an easier one. If I just zoom out again, reference, we should be able to go into Auth, sign in, I think it is, with phone. Maybe we haven't actually put it in here. So yeah, it must be in the guides only. But if you provide only a phone number, then they will be sent. You can either do a phone and a password, but if you only do a phone number, they'll be sent a token. In fact, even if you do a password, they get sent a token. And then you validate the token here. So it's sort of this two-step process. You get sent a one-time password. So that's quite cool. It's especially awesome for mobile projects where you don't want them to slip out into a different app. You can see the drop down, punch in the number, and then you're logging your users in with mobile. So that's pretty cool. I'm not going to sort of implement each of one of these, because if you look down this list of things that we need to get through, we shipped a lot. So I'm just going to go from a high level through each one of them, and where you can find it, and where you can find some of the docs and what it does. Okay, the next one is storage. Now, there were a lot of updates in storage, and there's a really kick-ass blog post related to this one. So it's written by Inian, who's one of the kick-ass devs on our team, and we've added a bunch of things. So streaming media, which is great for audio streaming, jumping around. You can see here you can jump around different parts of your video or of your audio. You can just jump to any part and it'll start buffering from that point. So that was one of the key things that we released. Public buckets are also useful. You can make a whole bucket public, and we actually write up some of the design decisions around this. So worth checking that out. You can upload, this is actually one of my favorites. You can upload, I'm going to show you this because it's actually awesome. If you come to your storage, I'll just create a new bucket called cats, and create a bucket. I think if I just need to make sure I've got projects, cats. Okay, I've got a folder here called cats. So if I come into this bucket, and you can see it's ready for me to upload, but I can now actually drop a whole folder in, and you'll see up here it just uploaded all 7 files automatically just from a folder upload. And this even works if you have nested folders. I don't know if this one, new folder called nested, and then I'll create a new one called nested 2, and I'll copy this one into nested 2. No, I'll also put it in nested 2. Then if I upload this one, you'll see that it even goes through, well, it's picked up all the secret files, but it's uploaded all the nesting down. So yeah, I really think that's amazing. And really, I think our UI for storage is just getting better and better. It's one of the best storage UIs I think I've seen online. Of course, it's nothing to compare to a native experience, but yeah, we're aiming for a native experience on our dashboard. So yeah, I'm very happy with this improvement, and it's pretty cool. Our storage system's getting very tidy now. And this was only, by the way, we shipped storage in last launch week, so it's about 3 or 4 months old, which means that yeah, it's made a lot of progress. The APIs are improving a lot, and so yeah, we have now put storage out into beta, and it's quite stable. That's the headline feature of this day. Okay, so that's storage. That was shipped on day 2. Day 3 was our dashboards. Now these are also very cool. I think I need to find a project. Let me see what I've got. Maybe some of our dog fooding projects. You can see here that we've got, well, not much auth and not much storage, but you can see that we've got some API requests. You can see how much data we're using, our usage. So we did these charts, but if you come down here to reports, you can even build your own reports. So what I'm going to do, it might even be broken, but if I go to the last 30 days, yeah, not much data. Here you can see one. The egress reports, you can build your own widgets where you add in, maybe, let's do one, instance health. I think that one we don't have because it's an old project. But if I come down to API requests, you can see, yeah, this one's actually for the past 30 days. It's done 200,000 API requests. It's missing a couple of days. And then this is API egress, how much data is transferred. And these are completely customizable graphs. If I just hide that memory usage for a sec and hide the storage get requests because they do not exist. But you can extend these out, you can make them smaller, larger, you can hover over them to get detailed analytics. Yeah, and really this is just the start of these reports. You can expect a lot more sort of feature and improvements to come on these ones. But yeah, I'm also really happy with how these came out. The front end team worked really hard on this one during launch week. So yeah, do check that out. Okay, question. What are the upcoming features of Supabase? Actually, so yeah, we just as a team kind of had a chill week. You'll see we did a hackathon and we did one internally just so we dog food Supabase and get to use it and find out some of the things that we need to fix. A lot of the features that we're going to do actually in the next 3 months are going to be stability, reliability, and performance. So they're quite boring, but they're things that are necessary. It's just going to be, refactoring, making sure that we have a very safe, secure platform. In terms of, things that you'd consider features, is going to be functions is one of the things we'll be looking at, and I'll actually touch on that. It's one of the last things in this blog post. The other thing is, our self-hosting needs to be improved a lot. We actually were aiming to release a CLI update this launch week, but we just missed. There's just too much to do. So we'll probably do that in the next one. And as part of that, hopefully we'll have as well Supabase Studio, the self-hosted version of this dashboard that you see. So you can go off and host this yourself and point it towards any, self-hosted Supabase database or Postgres database for that matter. But really, we think that reliability and performance are going to be one of the things that's going to be critical, and just giving you guys the tools, the users, the tools to debug, find out what's going wrong. Quite often people crash their own database. We haven't put many restrictions into, your usage. You can just use the database as you want. And a lot of people crash it. Maybe they have some errand loops, or they do something a bit obscure and they crash their infrastructure. So we just want to give you the tools to fix that yourself, so you don't have to rely on us. And then as well, when you're in production or you're self-hosting, you'll be able to diagnose this and fix these things yourself. So it won't show on this one, but maybe like if I come to this new project and I come down to reports, one of them is, for example, the instance health. CPU usage should be showing. So this one, perhaps not because there is none, but or our memory usage, or maybe it is working and it's just taking a very long time. But these are the ones, the type of infrastructure observability that we want to give you, so you can diagnose anything that's running slow, any problems that you got within your own project. When do you think Studio will be merged into main? Actually, I don't know. I saw actually iPip, one of the, actually he's on this thing that we call the Super Squad. He's been contributing a lot, and I haven't even had an opportunity after launch week. I've got to be honest, we were completely dead. So I haven't even had an opportunity to look at Studio for the past 2 weeks. But once I jump in, I'll see how much progress he's made, and we'll see if we can merge in at least some part of the Studio pretty soon, and then people can start contributing to it straight away. Will there be any docs on complex SQL queries? Possibly, but the thing is that it is just Postgres, so those docs already exist out in the world. I mean, there's plenty of documentation for Postgres itself, so we probably will try focus first on things which people won't be able to find online themselves, specific to Supabase, and then we'll eventually build into a lot of training material around around SQL. And it's actually one of our core things, our core philosophies within Supabase. We don't want to, we want to make it very easy to use SQL. We don't want to actually, build an abstraction away from SQL. We want to expose SQL and make it just very easy to use. So it definitely will be something that we do in the future, and it's probably just not our highest priority. Yep, that's a good question, Rotimi. Sorry if I'm butchering people's names. Okay, so what else we got on the blog? Nope, not that one. This one, if I close that. Okay, so dashboards v2. We launched a Discord server. This one you'll see actually if you come straight to the top. You can get this link here, join our Discord, which is awesome. I think within like a week we had 1,500 people join up. I think it's over a couple of thousand now on the Discord, which is crazy and awesome. It's largely community-led. Here, you can just go to discord.supabase.com, and that will give you an invite link so you can jump in. We actually coincided it very well to work with Discord threads, which makes life easier. They just released it on the same day, so that's great. But also, just a note, it's largely community-led, and we try to help out, the team does, where we can. But what we'll be doing is trying to build up a few different moderators within the community, and just try and make sure that the community are helping each other here. And this is how we hope Supabase grows. It should be a very helpful community. People who want to learn about open source, learn about Postgres, learn about SQL, then that's the place to hang out if that's what you're looking for. Okay, the other ones, this was actually at the start of the week. We did this community day and we shipped this thing. One of them was Postgres 13. I'm not going to go through everything that is in Postgres 13, but every new project now, if I come into my project and I run some SQL, I'm going to get the version here, just going to run that. You can see actually then this is on Postgres version 13. We actually run it on ARM architecture. Every new project is now running on I did great with the name. Okay, great, thanks. So every new project is running on Postgres 13. It's got some cool features. A lot of performance improvements, especially if you know about vacuum. That's a lot of improvements around there. Actually, some of the indexing as well is very cool stuff that they're doing there. In terms of things that maybe newbies or people who are new to Postgres might be interested in, they've got a new UUID function, which is very handy because usually we would have to rely on an extension, which you can find the extension here, UUID. Which is enabled actually by default inside Supabase. But now it looks like they're going to start moving towards, this one, towards having native UUID support. So this one here will actually generate a UUID version 4, which is very cool. They also have a datetime function inside JSONB, and they've got some stuff around extended statistics, which actually we hope to expose via those reports that I was showing you earlier. So we updated that, and then we talk a lot about our benchmarking, the performance improvements here, and we actually have a repo where you can install Postgres and host it yourself just via Docker or via AWS. We've got some DigitalOcean. We've got a few images. So if you're looking to get started with Postgres, just pure Postgres, then you can check out these images. We also do these bundles we're going to start doing. So it's a PG Bouncer bundle, so it's Postgres plus PG Bouncer. We're doing a Postgres bundle where it's Postgres plus Postgres, and then a complete bundle which bundles everything together. And they've got WallG enabled for backups. So a lot of really good stuff there. Yeah. The other one on Community Day, not everyone knows this, but we have one of the lead maintainers of Postgres, or one of the maintainers. I think there are, actually I have to ask him how many there are, but Steve in our team works on Postgres for the most part. Yeah, I don't know what his time split is, but probably most of his time is spent on working on Postgres. And so luckily we were able to coincide the Postgres version 8 launch with our own launch week. And yeah, there are some huge improvements to this. So since Steve has been working, I think the big one to call out, he's done a crazy job on performance. Version 8 is 50%, it has 50% more throughput on GET requests. So yeah, it's just a lot faster. Also a nice one is like no downtime on Postgres. So yeah, if you haven't already checked out Postgres, now's definitely the time, because it's just such an awesome improvement. Yeah, there's a bunch of release notes as well in the blog post. Okay. Flutter and Dart support. This is another one that is community led. So we've got a quick start guide here, and the community have been working really hard on our Flutter and Dart libraries. So yeah, a big shout out to the maintainers there. Tyler especially has been helping with these since very early on. And you can step through the guide if you're looking at getting started with Flutter. Then step through this guide. Come to check out the libraries as well. The documentation is still, we're still working on a lot of it, but you can hopefully figure out most of it from this guide. And we'll actually make this pretty much a first-class citizen. So hopefully, after the community have done a bit more, we'll also make sure that we're supporting it quite tightly. But yeah, this is a community one. Finally, we had a hackathon. Now this one was awesome. I think Ant's about to release a hackathon blog post where we announce all the winners, but it is mad. Some of the things that people produced within 1 week is incredible. And what we did was we actually released, I don't know if it's here, but we released a swag store here, which I'll jump straight ahead to, and which is on store.supabase.com. And we gave the winners of each of the categories. We had various categories for our hackathon, which was, like best overall, most technical, and then we gave them this $1 million prize, which has like the Supabase gold team. Obviously trying to coincide that with the Olympics, which is pretty cool. But that just wrapped up. We've already announced the winners, but we'll release the blog post for that, and we'll show each of the entries. Everything's open source, so there's some good opportunity to learn and see how people build things as well. So that was very cool. So that was the hackathon. Where are we at? Hooks and functions. Okay, this one is in alpha, but it's very cool. And maybe because we don't have many docs for this, we've got a very long technical blog here on how to use it, some of our design decisions around it. But what I'll do is I'll step you through what it does. So imagine you've got a Postgres database, which of course you do if you've got a Supabase project. Excuse me. Then imagine from the database you want to trigger, something external, like let's say a function, or like an API function, every time maybe a row is inserted. So what I'm going to do is, I think I've got a table here. I'm going to create a table called, well, I'll create it in this one here so you can see some data. And then I'm going to go to webhook.site. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create a table called testing, and it'll just have an ID. Then what I'm going to add is a like name, which can be a text column, and I'll save that. And then I'm going to add a column called bio, which can also be a text column, text here, and then I'll save that. So yeah, this means that I can just enter a name, Paul, bio, CEO, something like this, and I save that. And now imagine that we have an external service, and it could be like a Lambda function, it could be an email service, it could be anything at all. And I want to say that every single time some data is updated or inserted into this table, I want to trigger that external service. So I'll pretend like this one here, this webhook.site is just like let's pretend that it's an email service, and I want to trigger, I want to send a web request every single time the data in that table changes. So we're going to have this one here. I'm just going to copy it, and just to show you what this does, if I visit that, if I visit this one, I think it is. Yep. Then it shows me that there was a GET request here, and it shows me some details about the GET request. There were no query strings, there were no form values, nothing like that. It was just a GET request. Now let's pretend this is once again a email service, and every time I trigger some data in here, I want to send a POST request to this email service. So I'll take this URL again, and then I can use this thing, which is an alpha. It's just very unstable. But if I put in a trigger here, if I put in a function hook, which is got this warning that is an alpha preview, I'm going to enable hooks, and then I'm going to create a function hook. Now I'm going to call this send email, and then anytime a change happens to the testing table, it can be an insert or an update, I'm going to send an HTTP request, and I'm going to send a POST request to that URL that I just had before. I don't need to worry about any of these headers. I'm just going to confirm that. Okay, so just to make sure, I'm going to clear this out. There is nothing here now. But if I come back to the table, testing, and I insert a new row, which will be Ant, and he is the CTO, and I save that, then I come here. You can see now we've got this POST request, which has been sent, and it's got the type of data. It's the type of action, which was an insert, the table, which is testing, the schema, which is public. Old record is null because it was an insert, and the current record now is ID2 bio CTO name Ant. And then to prove that it works also for updates, if I come in here and I just say CEO / co-founder, and I just do that, then it has saved there, and we should have a second request. Just make sure it has saved, and make sure that I refresh. That's odd, but I should have had an edit. Maybe I didn't save it in database. Function hooks. This one is it's only on inserts, and actually I don't know if I can change it now. Yeah, I'd have to recreate it, but it should have been on insert and update. If I had put update there, then it would have had both records, what it was previously and what it is now. So yeah, I am extremely blurred. Sorry about that. If you're talking about the screen, if it's me, then it's probably a good thing because my computer can't keep up. If it's the screen, like the text, then let me know and I'll zoom in a bit. Yeah, so the function hooks are very cool, and we've got a lot more to do on this one. So you can even trigger, yeah, well, I won't show you, but at some stage you'll be able to trigger these from anywhere inside your database. You'll be able to use the query editor here to actually write some SQL and, like select HTTP request. Yeah, you're going to see it soon. Request. And you'll be able to actually send HTTP requests, and the idea, if I can spell request, it'll be like a function like this. The idea behind this is that we're going to use these hooks to actually generate our functions, Supabase functions, which of course everyone has been asking for a long time. We wanted to make sure that we do it right and do it scalable, and that it works very well with Postgres. So if I created a new hook, you'll see here that at some stage we'll have HTTP requests, which are already working, Supabase functions, which will release to an alpha set of users. Then we'll work with AWS Lambda and Google Cloud Run, and maybe a few others. We'll still scope them out, but probably we'll target Lambda first. Yep. And I've written up in the blog post on the timelines here. You'll have to come in and zoom in. We've got some rough timelines that we're aiming towards. No promises that we definitely get them, but that's sort of what we're aiming towards. Yeah. Yeah, sorry if it's going blurry. It's probably because, well, one, I'm streaming off my phone again, and two, my computer just can't keep up. So I'll fix my computer problem and maybe my phone problem at some point. Okay, next one. How much? Gosh, it's already been 40 minutes, so I'm going to see how much more have we got here. Blog here. Okay, function hooks. Here it is, hooks and functions. The swag store. If you want some swag, check it out. Then finally, we had a bunch of community stuff. Our GitHub stars grew a lot during just that week. I think we're about to hit 17,000 stars on our main repo, which is very cool. So thanks to everyone who's been sharing and spreading the word. We had actually a lot of new users come in, so that's really appreciated. If you're new or you've been sort of evangelizing for us and spreading the word, thank you very much. It's really appreciated. It's nice having so many new people coming in. So then coming next, someone asked earlier on, what are we building next? Well, it's security, stability, performance, and of course functions we'll work on in the background. This will be a lot of the, and I also mentioned the CLI needs improvements, migrations, story. These are the things that we've been working on already for several months, and so we'll continue working on them. But just expect, that there won't be a huge number of features in the next launch week. It'll be largely to do with performance gains and just a lot of stuff for you to help debug yourself. So okay, that's the blog post. The only thing that we now need to do is actually put this video, it's going to be a bit meta, but I'm going to try put this video into the blog post, because if you see, I actually embed a video every single time. Wait, where is it? Here. And this is the Supabase June 2021. So what I'm going to do is see, I think I can actually do this thing where maybe if I open this up, I think if I take the ID of this, then I can come to this blog post here. And I should, so this is another nice thing for anyone who's building anything inside, well, basically anyone who's building anything with YouTube. Of course, YouTube has tracking pixels inside it, and we don't, if you haven't already noticed, we don't have any cookie banners inside Supabase. And that's because we are completely GDPR compliant. We don't actually have any cookies except for essential cookies, and we don't gather any personal information. We have some secondary processes that we use to sort of do some analytics and things like that, but we've got no cookies. Now a niche trick is that there's actually this thing, YouTube no cookie. I thought this was a secondary service, but it turns out that this one is actually provided by YouTube specifically for GDPR and yeah, to be compliant. So what I'm going to try to do is put this YouTube video in using YouTube no cookie. I'm going to drop it in here. I'll just refresh this page. I've got one somewhere which should be open. Localhost somewhere. It's not that one. It's not this one. Here it is. Blog. July 2021. And if I put /new/blog, this should ideally have this YouTube video inside the YouTube video. So we're going to have some sort of recursion, and when people watch this retrospectively. Why is this not working? Compiled successfully. Looks like it should be working. So I'm just going to close up a few things because my computer probably just can't handle everything that's going on. Stop. Okay. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Alright, so, yep, we've got this new video, which you guys are going to be on. You're famous now. You're going to be in this blog post. So, thanks for joining. And let's ship this live now. I just need to push that update. Adds the monthly release blog post. Adds the monthly video. And if I push that change up, then we jump into where is it? GitHub? Should be Supabase. Pull requests. Super ship. Yep, exactly. We love to ship. And I jump in here. It's building again, but I think it's pretty safe to say that it's going to work. So no, we've got some conflicts. I don't know what they will be. Our RSS feed. So what I'll do is I will go like this. I'll just close that. I'm going to merge, branch, master. Then, well, that worked. And then I need to push. Okay, I need to actually jump into that branch first, pull all changes, make sure we got everything good, then go into the blog, July, then merge again, merge, and here we go, we've got some conflicts. So let's resolve them. Where are they? Nowhere to be seen. I don't know why. Maybe it resolved on mine. Did that say that I need to save things or close all? Maybe try merge that again. Because you have unmerged files. I can't see any. Okay, let's go. Get status. Unmerged. So let me just open up that RSS. There's going to be some conflicts, no doubt, somewhere here. Yeah, here. So what I'm going to do is accept incoming. That should be that. Then I'm going to get add dot get commit. I don't know why it's not working with VS Code here, but if I go get commit fix conflicts, then I'm going to just do a npm run build again just to fix our RSS feed in case there's any problems. What do you use that shows you the folder directory on GitHub when you open the repo? Yep, good question. It's Octotree. So it is just a Firefox extension. I wonder if I can link to it somehow. Not sure I can, but if I search for Fire, I'm sure it's on Chrome as well. Firefox, Octo Tree, yeah, there you go. Then you can install that. It's quite useful for browsing around. Although, did you guys see the new release today from GitHub is actually quite handy. And so let me show it to you. If you are on any GitHub repository, let's say Supabase, I'll just open a new tab. This is very cool. There used to be this thing, GitHub1second.com. I'm sure that this is where it was inspired from, because GitHub 1 second is basically a VS Code. It's not to do with GitHub, but it will pull a repo. Then you can browse it just like you're inside VS Code. Now, GitHub probably, they've had this thing for a while actually. If you come to code here, there's this thing code spaces where you can do a new code space. But even better, if you just go to any repo, you can go github.dev/supabase/supabase. If I do that, this one will open a GitHub code space. Very cool. And then if I wait for it, it has opened up our Supabase repo. It's actually doing a bunch of stuff in the background, looking for things to install, activating some extensions. Yeah, it's doing a bunch of very cool stuff. So, yeah, I think that's going to be quite nice, especially for, we had a few people come into our Discord and they wanted to contribute to Supabase, but they did everything through the web UI. So they didn't know how to fork or clone. So I think actually this one's going to make just contributions a lot easier. So I'm quite supportive of this one. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions over whether GitHub should be dominating everything to do with development. But yeah, as far as I can tell, this is just making contributions easier, which is all I really care about. It's very cool. VS Code sometimes has issues with real-time syncing in real-time after a merge. Yeah, seems like it. The dot this button. Also using the dot on any repository. Is that true? So I can go to any repository, Supabase, /post. Well, I'll show you one of my favorite repositories, Stripe Sync Engine, something that we've been using, not related to Supabase, but we sync all our Stripe stuff to Postgres. So if I hit dot, wow, this is why we live stream, so we can learn things like this in real time. That's awesome. Okay, so if I just hit the full stop inside any repository, it will open up a development window. Well, yeah, I gotta say, this is definitely going to be a game changer. I think they've done well there. I think as well, they did very well releasing that right off the back of there's a lot of controversy around, what's it called? The AI bot, which is actually Copilot. So I think they've done well to get this one in, so that people are super happy and not talking about the controversy around Copilot. But still, it's that's pretty cool. Thanks for the tip. I'm definitely going to use it, especially when I'm browsing repos that I don't want to clone to my own. Alright, so we've got this now, RSS, open source hackathon winners. Okay, it seems like actually this has been released maybe? Or I don't know, actually, maybe it's been prepared, but it's not actually released. So what I'm going to do, what date is it? It's the 12th. This one's the 8th of the 4th. That is completely incorrect. That one should be RSS. Maybe it's because July, what was it called? Supabase July 2021. 8th of the 4th. What are we now? 12th. Oh no, 4th of the 8th. Yeah, it's obviously because I prepared it this in. I think that's fine. Let's pretend. Well, let's go like this. 12th of the 8th. Add these changes, and we should. I'm actually going to change this one here as well. 12th of the 8th. And I think actually the RSS gets rebuilt, so I'm just going to push that. Updates date. Then push. Then finally come back to GitHub. Make sure there are no conflicts. Where is it? This one. Did it receive my changes? Updates date. Correct. Now we should be able to merge this. Confirm. Alright, cool. Now it's going live. Thanks for joining. What are we at? 8:23. Okay, so the only other thing, well, first of all, if you've got any questions or anything at all, just feel free to fire them out for the last 8 minutes. But yeah, in the meantime, what I'll do is show you one other thing that we do inside Supabase, which I think is quite a nice feature. Not really a feature, but a thing that we do. We actually, on our repo, ask people to, follow the releases. So if I come to this, you can follow releases here. I can see different things because I'm a maintainer. But that means that we have all these tags, and every single month that I do one of these blog posts, I actually release the blog post here as a sort of release as well. So what I'll do is I'll draft this new release, and I'll show you how we do it. I actually just copy over one of the previous releases. I think the naming mechanism is going to be July, and then the sort of version number here, because it's not really a single thing. I just use the month is 0 because we're still in beta, 21 because it's the year 21, then 07 for the September. Then I think if I go edit here, I can take this part here and put it in, and then all I'm going to do, because our blog is written in Markdown, is copy most of this here, and then I actually will need to, I'll do this offline because it's not going to be much fun, but I'll need to update all the images here so these images aren't loading, so I'll drop them in. But yeah, it just means that when I put this out, release, anyone who's watching the repo will receive this notification. They can come in and comment, and actually if you see, it's obviously used a lot, because if I come down here, then you'll see there's a lot of a lot of people, 107 people have come in and given it a thumbs up, so a lot of people have seen it. And then we actually create a release discussion, so people can actually comment on the changes. Let's see. Yep, there were 4 comments. So yeah, it's a nice way to do it. Yep. Is there an endpoint for Auth? I want to sign in with a provider on native iOS. Yeah, okay, so one thing is that we are working quite hard now this time round. I said stability is going to be one of the main features. When I say that, we're also solidifying a lot of the features that we've got. So mobile Auth is one of the things that we'll be working on quite hard in the next 3 months. But there is, in fact, a endpoint for it. I think actually, so if I go to Supabase docs, there's not a really perfect way to show you this, but if you see the architecture here, anything that goes through to your database, through to your public schema, goes through /rest/v1. Anything that goes through auth is /auth/v1. That means that, so to get into, let's go to our GoTrue server. You'll be able to find here inside GoTrue, this is the authentication server. You'll be able to find the API endpoints, which are, if I scroll down somewhere here, all the endpoints are here. So /settings, admin/generate link/signup /invite. And so the way to use this with your own project would be, for example, if I come to app.supabase, I'll just use a project which I'll delete soon. And if I come to like my API URL, settings, API, the URL is here. So I've got my project, then I just need to go /auth/v1, and then I can append anything inside GoTrue. So it's just namespace to your own project server. But if I wanted to do sign up, I would just go now sign up. It's actually not a GET request, but let's try. Well, let's just put it because you get the idea. So it would be /signup. Now the only thing is you still need your API, your anon key, which is just a security feature to make sure that people aren't, hammering your database. So you just put API key, and then you can put in your anon key here. You can get it from here. If you copy this anon key and you actually append it here, then yeah, you've got full access to your GoTrue server. Everything here. It's a good question, and actually we should document that a lot better. If you guys have any other questions, do fire them out. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap up the remaining release notes that I showed you before. I'm going to push them, and then I'll do a tweet as well, maybe a tweet with every single thing that we've released. So do check that out later, and if you're not already in our Discord, check it out, and yeah, you know the drill. Subscribe if you want to watch these again next week, and you'll get a notification when I jump online. Okay, thanks for everyone who dialed in, and I appreciate it. We'll see you on Discord or on GitHub hopefully. Ciao.